Grand Rising, my beautiful kings and queens. It's your girl Mel B live on Lux Radio Network. Today is Thursday, December 18th, where I bring you motivation, culture, and a bit of good old soul to carry you through your day. So buckle up, sip up, and let's make this morning unforgettable. Because here, we don't just wake up, we rise up. That's right. All right, on to our affirmation of the day, and I read, my discipline is the bridge between the goals I have set and the accomplishments I deserve. As the weekend approaches, discipline often wavers. This affirmation serves as a motivational nudge to keep your promises to yourself. It reminds you that the hard work of today is the direct path to the reward of your future success. All right, on to our word of the day, which is tenacity, which means the quality or state of being very determined, the quality of continuing to try to achieve something even when it's difficult. And our phrase origin of the day, our phrase is burning the midnight oil. Before electric light, the only way to work or study late into the night was by using oil lamps or candles. To burn the midnight oil meant to consume the expensive fuel late into the night evenings, symbolizing extreme dedication, effort, and long hours of work. So Thursday is often the day for your final push. This phrase captures the effort required to stay focused and put in the extra time needed to complete demanding tasks before the week ends. All right, on to our headline news around the globe and byways and farways and just right next door. All right, New York. Bishop Ron Hicks, current head of the Diocese of Joliet, is formally named by the Pope as the next Archbishop of New York, succeeding the outgoing leadership. Los Angeles. The Minaret Winter Jazz Festival kicks off today at the Lodge Room, featuring a headlining solo set by soulful artist Georgia Ann Muldrow. And Chicago. State Energy Analysis issued a formal warning that Illinois is facing critical power shortages as the rapid expansion of AI data centers spikes regional electricity demand. Atlanta. Senator John Ossoff introduces a bipartisan bill today to expand tax cuts for small businesses, partnered with the Mississippi Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. In Houston, Fort Bend ISD moves forward with a major school rezoning plan for the 2026 academic year, affecting multiple elementary and middle schools to address area growth. Washington, D.C. The House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure convenes at 10 a.m. in a hearing today to consider the Aviation Funding Solvency Act, aimed at securing long-term FAA resources. Miami-Dade officials officially announced that the county has shattered historic job records for the fourth quarter, led by growth in the medical and tech sectors. And Tampa. Governor Ron DeSantis signs a new measure providing AI-powered translators and GPS trackers for state immigration enforcement agencies to streamline communications. Newport Richey. Good morning, Dad. The Pascal County Commission holds a public hearing on a new affordable workforce housing initiative aimed at essential workers in the healthcare and education sectors. Milwaukee. Morning, family. Visit Milwaukee officially launches its Buy Local Bonus campaign today for the initiative holiday spending at local restaurants, breweries, and retailers. Good morning, Ray. Canada. We have Vancouver. City Council moves forward with the final planning phases for a new Filipino cultural center intended to serve as a community hub in the city's southeast. Toronto, the the Ontario Ministry of Transportation rolls out new record testing requirements for residents to address increasing highway safety concerns across the GTA. Bless up, Jamaica. Kingston. The Tourism Ministry reports a record-breaking recovery pace following last month's Hurricane Melissa, with full operations restored across the island's 5 major resorts. Grand Rising, Memphis. Montego Bay. Local government begins the final distribution of reconstruction grants to residents in St. Thomas Parish to assist with non-structural home repairs. Ocho Rios. The major resorts in the area, including several Sandals properties, confirm they are at full capacity for the peak winter holiday season following successful recovery efforts. Negril. The Agricultural Ministry confirms that domestic produce supply chains have been stabilized, ensuring no shortages for the high-demand Christmas tourism season. Cayman Islands. The government releases a new regulatory framework today governing the use of decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs, to bolster the local fintech sector. Bahamas. JetBlue begins to expand daily service from Boston to Nassau today, part of a broader winter airline capacity increase across the Caribbean. Nigeria. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company launches a new satellite surveillance hub in Abuja to monitor pipeline integrity and prevent industrial-scale oil siphoning. And Ghana. Following the departure of the National Special Task Force from the northern regions, local authorities in Accra unveil a new community vigilance program to maintain regional stability. All right, on to Grand Rising, Sophia and Sadie. On to our weather forecast. All right, in New York, cloudy during the day with light rain developing at night. Your high today will be 53 with a low of 33. Los Angeles, partly sunny and pleasant. High of 75 with a low of 59. Chicago, breezy with light rain during the day, shifting to snow. Ooh, showers at night. High is the high 48 and your low will be 19. Atlanta, cloudy with light rain expected throughout the day with a high of 58 and a low of 47. Houston, mostly sunny and clear with a high of 75 and a low of 50. Washington, D.C., light rain this morning followed by steady rain tonight. High of 58 and a low of 32. Miami, warm with the light rain showers during the day, a high of 81 and a low of 74. Tampa, cloudy with light rain today, high of 80 and a low of 63. Newport Richey, light rain showers today, there, Dad, high of 74 and a low of 62. And Milwaukee, we got a mix of rain and snow today, turning snow showers heavy tonight, unfortunately. We have a high of 45 and a low of only 17 today. Ooh, it's cold. Vancouver, rain expected during the day, clearing to periodic clouds tonight with a high of 44 and a low of 32. Toronto, cloudy with rain showers developing in the evening, high of 44 and a low of 35. Kingston, partly sunny with a chance of scattered showers, high of 87, low of 73. Montego Bay, partly sunny with breezy conditions, high of 86, low of 76. Ocho Rios, partly sunny and warm, high of 85, low of 77. Negril, mostly sunny and humid with a high of 88 and a low of 79. In the Cayman Islands, it's going to be partly sunny and pleasant with a high of 85 and a low of 78. And the Bahamas are going to have scattered thunderstorms during the day with light rain tonight with a high of 78 and a low of 75. Nigeria, partly sunny and very hot, high of 95 and a low of only 65. And Ghana, partly sunny and humid with a high of 95 and a low of 76. All right, on to our sports for the day. Tonight, we're kicking off week 16 with Thursday night football, where we're going to have the Rams versus the Seahawks. They will be in Lumen Field in Seattle, and kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. this evening, Eastern Standard Time, and you can watch it on Amazon Prime. And in the NBA, we had the Bulls over the Cavaliers, 127-111. The Grizzlies, 116, and over the Timberwolves, 110. And also, if I didn't mention, in the NBA Cup final, it was the Knicks over the Spurs, 124-113. Tonight in the NBA, we have a few games. We have the Hawks and the Hornets. Tip-off is at 7. Heat and the Nets, 7:30. Wizards and the Spurs at 8. Raptors and the Bucks at 8. Rockets and the Pelicans are at 8. The Clippers and the Thunder are at 8. They're on NBA TV. And the Pistons and the Mavericks are at 8:30. The Magic and the Nuggets are at 9. Warriors and the Suns are at 9. The Lakers and the Jazz are at 9. And the Kings and the Trailblazers are at 10. All these times are Eastern Standard Time, so check your local listings for those channels to watch those. All right, on to our daily feature of today, which is Throwback Thursday. I decided to give you a little history for this topic this morning. So it is the disruptive power of the printing press. So today we're reflecting on one of the most powerful and disruptive innovations in history. Johannes Gutenberg mobile type printing press around 1440. So before the press, knowledge was severely limited. Books were laboriously copied by hand, making them expensive, rare, and accessible only to the wealthy and the elite, and also the clergy. This scarcity gave those institutions a monopoly over information. Gutenberg's invention fundamentally changed the world by making the mass production of books fast and cheap. Suddenly, the Bible, scientific texts, and psychological ideas could spread rapidly. This didn't just boost literacy, it fueled the Renaissance, the scientific revolution, and the Reformation. It transferred power from the few who controlled the knowledge to many who could now access it. This is the definition of disruptive technology, a simple, elegant innovation that completely overturns an old system. So think about the information monopolies in your own business or industry. Where is the knowledge soiled or processed unnecessarily, or processes unnecessarily complex? Identify one piece of information, a skill, or a tool that you can democratize simply or share widely today. Be the catalyst that makes knowledge flow freely, just like the printing press did centuries ago. All right, on to our book club. We are still reading the 18 Laws of Human Nature. Today's law is the law of conformity. So it says, resist the downward pull of the group. Humans are social creatures with a deep need to belong. This need can turn destructive when it leads us to suppress our intelligence and judgment to fit into a group dynamic, particularly when that group is prone to irrationality or herd mentality. So Green's interpretation is groups, especially when facing pressure or excitement, amplify the least rational emotions, which are fear, panic, and excessive zeal. The individual's desire to avoid exile or ridicule leads them to blindly follow the group, even if they know the decision is flawed. This is the origin of fads, bubbles, and mass hysteria. So in business, develop the contrarian confidence. In meetings, actively seek out and empower the voice that challenges the consensus. If a project is receiving uncritical praise, step back and force yourself to find three legitimate flaws. Your job as a leader is to value independent, rational thought over comfortable agreement. And in life, identify your fickle crowd. Be highly selective about the groups, social, political, and professional, you spend the most time with. If a group pushes dissent or operates on a pure emotion rather than evidence, reduce your proximity. True individuality requires intellectual self reliance. So, the greatest rewards in life are reserved for those who have the courage to think for themselves. Today, let your rationality be your only alliance. All right, on to our cause of the day. Our cause of the day today, we're speaking on type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic condition that affects the way the body processes blood sugar or glucose. The body either resists the effects of insulin, which is a hormone that regulates sugar movement into cells, or doesn't produce enough insulin to maintain normal glucose levels. So the symptoms of type 2 diabetes are often mild and develop slowly. Symptoms include increased thirst and frequent urination, increased hunger, fatigue, blurred vision, slow healing sores, and frequent infections. Many people have type 2 diabetes for years without even realizing it. So, to prevention, the disease is largely preventable through lifestyle modifications. Number one would be weight management. Losing even 5 to 7% of body weight can be highly effective. Two, diet. Focus on whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. Limit processed foods and sugary drinks. And three, physical activity. Aim for 30 minutes of moderate intensity activity most days of the week. And treatment. Treatment typically involves lifestyle changes, such as the diet and exercise we mentioned, oral medications, which are to improve insulin sensitivity or reduce glucose production, and eventually insulin therapy if the body stops producing enough on its own. So, resources to find out more. You can reach out to the American Diabetes Association or the ADA that offers tools for prevention, blood sugar management, and advocacy. All right, today in history, December 18th, in 1892, okay, we're going to get this word right today. We have, it's Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky. His famous ballet, The Nutcracker, premiered at the Mariinsky Theater in the St. Petersburg of Russia. Although its initial reception was mixed, the ballet, particularly second act known as Land of the Sweets, later became one of the most popular and enduring theatrical productions associated with the Christmas season worldwide. So it premiered today in 1892, The Nutcracker. In 1912, we have the Piltdown Man hoax announced. The announcement was made in London of the discovery of the Piltdown Man, a supposed early human fossil found in a grave pit in East Sussex, England. The remains were widely accepted for decades as key evidence for human evolution. However, in 1953, the specimen was conclusively proven to be a deliberate hoax, a combination of a human skull and an orangutan's jaw, making it one of the most famous scientific frauds in history. And in 1957, the Shippingport Atomic Power Station goes online. The Shippingport Atomic Power Station in Pennsylvania began generating electricity. becoming the first civilian nuclear power plant in the United States. This event marked a major milestone in the country's Atoms for Peace initiative and ushered in the era of nuclear energy as a viable source for large scale commercial power generation. All right, in African American history today, in 1865, the 13th Amendment is ratified. Following its ratification by the prerequisite three-quarters of the states, the 13th Amendment was formally adopted into the U.S. Constitution. It declared that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. While it legally ended chattel slavery, the exception clause paved the way for coercive labor practices and the rise of the convict leasing system. All right, and also in 1881, Tennessee passes Jim Crow segregation law. Tennessee passed a law requiring segregation in railroad cars, setting an early and definitive prediction for state-mandated racial segregation in public transportation. This marked the beginning of a cascade of laws across the South and border states known as Jim Crow laws, which codified white supremacy and institutionalized racial discrimination in nearly every aspect of Southern life for the next 80 years. And in 1968, the Poor People's Campaign mural is installed. A large collaborative mural documenting the Poor People's Campaign and Resurrection City, the temporary city constructed on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., to draw attention to poverty, was dedicated and installed in the city. The mural was a powerful piece of activist art, serving as a visual testament to the legacy and goals of the campaign started by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. just before his assassination, and then continued by the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or the SCLC. All right, on to our African American scientists and inventors. First up, we have Katherine Johnson. Katherine Johnson was a groundbreaking NASA mathematician known as the human computer. Her calculations of orbital mechanics were critical to the success of the first U.S. space flights. She calculated the trajectory for Alan Shepard's 1961 flight and verified the orbital path for John Glenn's 1962 Friendship 7 mission. Her precision and reliability were so trusted that astronauts specifically requested her calculations before they launched. Her story was popularized in the film Hidden Figures. Next up, we have Charles Brooks. Charles Brooks patented an improved design for a street sweeper truck in 1896. His self-propelled vehicle included rotating brushes and collectors, making the job of municipal street cleaning far more effective than the manual methods used previously. This invention was crucial for improving urban sanitation and public health in rapidly growing American cities at the turn of the century. And last, we have Dr. Patricia Bath. Dr. Bath was an ophthalmologist, eye doctor, an inventor who became the first African female doctor to receive a medical patent. Her invention, the laser phasoscope probe, is a device used for minimally invasive, faster, and more effective treatment of cataracts. The probe uses laser technology to dissolve the cataract, allowing for much quicker removal and restoration of sight. She was a passionate advocate for community ophthalmology and fighting blindness worldwide. All right, on to our Back to Roots segment, where today's spotlight is fufu and accompanying soups and stews from West and Central Africa. All right, fufu is a starchy, stable food made by boiling and pounding starchy root vegetables like cassava, yams, and plantains into a dough-like consistency. Originating in West Africa, fufu is eaten with various thick, flavorful soups or stews, like egusi, akra, and or light soup that are rich in vegetables, palm oil, fish, or meat. So tofu acts as the primary utensil and carbohydrate source in a traditional meal. It is broken off in small pieces and rolled up in a ball with the fingers, then used to scoop up the soup. This communal eating practice emphasizes the social and collective nature of the meal. So, the role that it plays in African American society today, the resilience on root vegetables and the technique of thickening stews with nuts like peanuts and vegetables like okra is a direct African culinary survival. These techniques and ingredients were adapted in the U.S. South, becoming fundamental elements of soul food and Southern cuisine, particularly through dishes featuring okra and gumbo, which share linguistic and fundamental ties with West African cooking. So fufu is beloved and an essential dish for the West African diaspora globally. Modern restaurants often feature it, serving as both a comfort food and delicious cultural introduction to non-Africans, confirming the enduring power of ancestral staples. So fufu and soup remind us that the simplest foods often carry the deepest histories. Today, appreciate the rich, complex flavors of your culinary heritage. All right, on to our fact or fiction. Our topic today is water fluoridication in a secret plot to dumb down the population. So, the long-standing conspiracy theory alleges that the practice of adding fluoride to public drinking water is not for dental health, but rather a nefarious government or corporate scheme to weaken the populace, suppress the intelligence, and even control minds. The theory often links the chemical to rat poison and sinister agendas. So, is this fact or fiction? Of course, it's fiction. So, the facts is the practice of adding small amounts of fluoride to public water supplies began in the 1940s after extensive studies showed it dramatically reduced tooth decay. This is one of the CDC's 10 great public health achievements of the 20th century. The levels used are safe and far below toxic levels. The chemical used is not rat poison, but a naturally occurring mineral. Decades of peer-reviewed scientific research worldwide have confirmed the practice is safe and effective for preventing cavities, with no evidence supporting claims of mind control or cognitive impairment. So when it comes to fluoride, follow the science, not the speculation. It's a proven public health success designed to save your teeth, not control your brain. So you want more information on this, you can contact the CDC, the World Health Organization, and the American Dental Association. All right, on to what's the word? Our spotlight today is main character energy, the ironic celebration of self-focus. So the phrase main character energy or main character syndrome went viral as a meme celebrating and or criticizing the act of approaching life as if you are the star of your own movie. Videos often involve people dramatically walking through public spaces with background music or sharing self-absorbed anecdotes framed with the caption, "This is my main character moment." The concept became popular because it encapsulates the tension between healthy self-confidence and performative narcissism driven by social media. It serves as a gentle form of self-satire, using irony to acknowledge your own self-centered moments, but also as genuine encouragement to live life boldly. rejecting the idea of being mere supporting actor in someone else's story. It's a prevalent culture shorthand used in comments, videos, and daily conversations to label moments of excessive or necessary self focus. So it's healthy to own your own narrative. But remember, the best stories always have a fantastic supporting cast. Own your own role today, but appreciate the players around you. All right, and on to our tech tip of the day: implementing universal two factor authentication apps. So, the 2FA is a critical security measure that requires two distinct forms of verification before granting access, such as a password plus a one time code sent to your phone. This simple step is the single most effective way to prevent unauthorized access, protecting your sensitive client data, internal financial accounts, and proprietary business information from hackers. So protect your most critical personal accounts like your banking, email, social media, and password managers. Even if a hacker steals your password, they cannot access the account without the second factor, the physical access to your phone or the authentication app. This significantly lowers your risk of identity theft and financial fraud. So go into the security settings of all your online accounts and enable the 2FA. For maximum security, use a dedicated authenticator app like Google Authenticator or Authy, rather than relying on text messages, which can sometimes be intercepted. So security is not a single password. It's multiple layers of defense. So protect your digital life today by implementing a 2FA everywhere. It's the real shield against fraud. Okay. So on to our finance tip of the day: credit utilization, the second most important score factor. So after payment history, the second largest factor, around 30% in your credit score, is your credit utilization ratio, which is CUR, if you ever see that. This is the amount of credit you are currently using compared to your available credit that you have in total. So, to achieve a high credit score, financial experts recommend keeping your CUR below 30%. For example, if your combined credit card limits are like 10,000, keep your total balances under 3,000. The best practice is to aim for under 10%, actually. A lower CUR signals to lenders that you manage credit responsibly and are not reliant on debt. So, if your CUR is high, you can lower it quickly by paying down debt or by increasing your credit limits if you qualify. You should check your credit report annually for free to ensure there are no errors inflating your reported balances. So your credit score is not just about what you owe, but how much credit you use. So keep your utilization low to unlock your best borrowing power. All right, our fun fact of the day is: did you know a single strand of spaghetti is called a spaghetto? The word spaghetti is the plural form of spaghetto, which means thin string or twine in Italian. So you learn something new and different every day. All right, and our fun holiday of the day, I thought this was funny, and I might just do it. Today's holiday is Answer the Phone Like a Buddy the Elf Day. So, inspired by the movie Elf, which I don't think I ever saw that, this unofficial holiday encourages you to answer the phone, at least your personal line, with an over the top festive greeting such as Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? It's a fun way to bring unexpected joy and holiday cheer to an otherwise mundane daily activity. So I think I'm going to do that today. Every time somebody calls me, I'm just going to sound like an elf. I might even do it in a different dialect. Yeah. All right, on to our daily quote today. And I quote, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Anybody know who said that? Okay, no. Author was Winston Churchill, British Prime Minister during World War II, celebrated for his leadership, resilience, and skills. So, the meaning behind this quote is it provides a crucial perspective on both victory and defeat. It serves as a warning against complacency in success. It can always be lost, and despair in failure. It doesn't have to be the end. Churchill stresses that the most valuable quality is the courage to maintain commitment and resilience, regardless of the immediate outcome. All right, on to our music and entertainment. Podcasting's new wave of Black history content. A wave of high production narrative podcasts focusing on niche African American history subjects is gaining massive traction. The new series Deep Dives, which just signed a major deal with Spotify, is celebrated for its detailed investigative approach to forgotten heroes of the civil rights movement, providing audio storytelling that rivals major documentary series in quality and engagement. Hmm. All right, and in our celebrity gossip segment, um, it says Ronnie James expecting a child. A post by a major sports news account went viral, claiming that LeBron James's son, Bronny James, is expecting a child with his girlfriend, Parker Whitfield. So the news was confirmed to be a massive hoax. While the young couple is very public with their relationship, the circulating report has been thoroughly debunked by multiple sources. The incident highlights how quickly unfounded rumors can spiral and become accepted just as fast on social media. All right, birthday. Who's got a birthday? All right, and celebrity birthdays today, we got Lorenz Tate, and is 50. Everybody remember him as Old Dog in Menace to Society, and the romantic Darius in Love Jones, one of my favorite movies. He also played Councilman Tate on Power. We also have Lyrica Anderson, who is an R&B singer and songwriter. She is 36 today. We also have, I don't know, many people might remember her. Raw Digger is 51. She's a rapper, she's a writer, an activist, and also an actress. So her stage name was Raw Digger. She was best known as a longtime member of the Flip Mode Squad, led by Busta Rhymes. And also, I would like to say rest in heaven to Ozzie Davis, DMX, and Angie Stone. All right, on to our lifestyle segment where our soul food recipe of today is smothered Southern chicken. So we all know what smothered chicken is. Some like it, some don't. I am not going to say which one that is for me because mostly everybody knows. But on to our beverage of the day with that would be chia seed hydration water. Now, I found this interesting. It says it's a simple, nutrient dense way to boost hydration. Soak 1 tablespoon of chia seeds in a glass of water for 15 minutes to allow the seeds to swell. Add a squeeze of lemon or lime. The chia seeds contain fiber, protein, omega 3s, and their ability to absorb water helps sustain hydration longer. Okay. All right, men. Yeah, well, did you go to the doctor? Did you make your appointments? Just checking in to make sure and see if you did or not. And just sending out a reminder, go to the doctor, gentlemen. All right, your men's health tip today is adapt a simple daily skin check routine. Men often neglect routine skin checks. So integrate a daily routine after showering or before bed to check for changes in moles or new spots. Focus especially on sun exposed areas like the back of the neck, ears, and your scalp. Early detection of melanoma and other skin cancers dramatically improve prognosis. All right, women prioritize bone health with calcium and vitamin D. Women are highly susceptible to osteoporosis, especially postmenopause. Ensure adequate take of calcium helps, which is dairy, fortified foods, and leafy greens, and vitamin D, which you get, how you get that is sun exposure and supplements. Vitamin D is essential for the body to absorb calcium. Consult your doctor for an accurate assessment of your current levels. All right, in relationship advice for couples, express appreciation specifically and often. Don't assume your partner knows you appreciate them. Shift from generic thanks to specific appreciation. Instead of thanks for that, say, I appreciate that you handled the messy bills today. It took a huge mental weight off my shoulders. This validates the effort and shows you are paying attention to their contributions. Um, in friendships, be the consistent initiator. Friendships often fade due to conflict, but also lack of energy. Be the one who consistently initiates contact, plans plans the get-togethers, or sends the thoughtful text. Relying on others to start the conversation puts the relationship at risk. So being the proactive initiator in an investment in your own social capital. And in family, create a filter for sensitive topics. Holiday or family gatherings often involve sensitive topics such as politics, finances, or parenting choices. Before the event, agree with your immediate family, partner, and kids on a silent cue or filter word. If a sensitive topic arises, the cue signals that the conversation is off limits, and everyone shifts the focus immediately, preventing public conflict. All right, our household chore of the day is the floor sweep and spot clean. Focus on high traffic floor areas like the kitchen, an entryway, or the main hallway. A quick sweep, vacuum, or dry mop collects surface dirt and pet hair. Follow up with simple spot clean of any visible stains or spills, especially in the kitchen, to prevent them from becoming embedded and maintain the cleanliness until the weekend deep clean. All right, on to our daily horoscopes, where we always put Aries first. So, Aries, today you have the stamina and drive to tackle deep, complex professional tasks. Your determination is key to reaching career milestones. Avoid arguments about power dynamics. Channel all energy into productive, focused work. Your efforts are building a legacy. Your lucky numbers today are 4, 13, and 22. Taurus, a work related journey or new course of study feels productive and pleasantly calm. Your strong self turns ordinary efforts into standout success. Confidence, confidence, financial steps taken now will truly shape long term prosperity. Lucky advice: cherishing family rituals builds affection and happy memories. Your lucky numbers today are 6, 15, and 24. Gemini, focus on making progress on a shared venture or debt repayment, strengthening immunity projects against, strengthening immunity protects against seasonal changes. In professional settings, a leadership role may open doors to recognition and influence. Caution is wise before locking property decisions under shifting trends. Your lucky numbers today are 3, 7, and 16. Cancer, your energy is best spent encouraging teamwork, particularly among siblings or close collaborators, creating unity and joy at home. Your professional life requires supervisor attention. which polishes your leadership skills. Regular tests restores focus and emotional calm. Your lucky numbers today are 2, 9, and 18. Leo, your confidence soars as your career moves smoothly towards milestones. Financial clarity helps you meet obligations effortlessly. Documenting family memories strengthens generational connections. That's spooky. Property upgrades promise great outcomes when planned thoroughly. Enjoy the smooth momentum. Your lucky numbers today are 5, 25, and 31. Virgo, workouts inject fun and focus into your routine. Maintain calm during family challenges to preserve collective strength. Professional boundaries support balance and emotional well-being. Soul connections evolve slowly but surely bring true transformation. Your lucky numbers today, Virgo, are 3, 15, and 27. Libra, home is your sanctuary. You value harmony, and today's energy is best spent caring for your space and belongings. Releasing rigid expectations will help maintain peace. Focus on self love and remember that you don't have to earn peace, you deserve it. Your lucky numbers today are 1, 19, and 46. Scorpio, a focus on communication and daily tasks is sharp. Things tend to get in your way, especially when using your words to influence. Be aware that feelings may intensify, so choose discipline over reaction. Tonight is ideal for reviewing finances and making a plan. Your lucky numbers today are 7, 13, and 26. Sagittarius, impatience might be your worst enemy, so sleep on any big decisions, especially concerning money or big purchases. Your business will prosper and flourish as a result of your hard work and determination. Health conditions are likely to improve. Fresh starts await you. Your lucky numbers today are 6, 11, and 30. Capricorn, the most important lesson is to pay attention to who makes your nervous system relax. Prioritize those spaces and people. Trust the ones who make you feel secure. Calm presence and practical action will lead to the most valuable progress today. Capricorn, your lucky numbers today are 8, 17, and 26. Aquarius, you may decide to introduce a new fitness related activity into your daily routine. Financial conditions are likely turning in your favor. This week brings the chance to circulate and put yourself out there. Your lucky advice, think big and be ready to share your vision. Aquarius, your lucky numbers today are 11, 28, and 40. And Pisces, your partner might be feeling insecure or overprotective, which could be annoying. Health conditions ought to be stable, and financially, there will be some inflow of cash. On the legal front, things will likely turn in your favor. Trust your calm presence. Your lucky numbers today are 9, 21, and 39. All right, on to tomorrow's show. It's our end of the week wrap up. So our Back to Roots showcases the traditional hairstyle Bantu knots, and we get sweet with sweet potato pie and lifestyle. We'll also provide a critical finance tip on negotiating bulk order discounts to boost your profits. At this time, I would like to say thank you to Lux Radio sponsors, which include Bello Burn Hot Sauce. Turn up the flavor, feel the burn. Bello Burn brings heat to every bite. RAS Herbals, rooted in tradition, powered by nature. RAS Herbals keeps wellness pure and strong. And Calorane Candles, light the moment, lift the mood. Calorane Candles glow with soul. And Universal Madness, style without limits. Universal Madness makes the streets your runway. And my only announcement tonight is to make sure y'all tune in to Chief and Go tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Lux Radio Network and all platforms and luxradio.com. So we crushed the work week so far, and we almost at its end. So until tomorrow morning, family, this is your girl Mel B saying stay fly, stay grounded, and don't let nobody dim your shine. Period.